Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple destined to be in love that loves reacting to some Destiny.
Yes, we do.
This is Destiny 2 Season of the Witch that we're checking out today. And this is part 1 of that. And we're doing all the cutscenes and the story. And if you want all of our Destiny reactions, we got a playlist for you down below in the description of the video. You want early ad-free access, get a month ahead on Patreon. You can also get early access here on YouTube. So Patreon, you get access to both of our channels. If you just care about the game channel, hit the little join button down below. And because it's Destiny.
We have a drink. So this is the Awoken Amethyst.
Yeah, it is. Our official Destiny drink. Cheers.
It also has a purple sugar rim.
Mm-hmm.
So you might notice us like doing a little bit of this throughout filming. That's just what that is.
Yep.
Listen up, glitter bums. This is First Ghost and Maru talking. You're still trying to get through the witness's portal, huh? That ain't a door you can just kick open.
Yeah, no shit.
You even asked some leftover worm for answers. Too bad she led you right to us.
Who are you?
You need help from the one witch nobody can trust. My boss.
Savathun's ghost.
Even though she's temporarily dead, she left instructions for this very situation. As usual, you maggots are 3 steps behind.
Yep, you're definitely Savathun's ghost.
We'll help you on one condition. First, deal with her sister, Sivor Wrath.
Had to be done eventually.
Gladly.
Yeah.
I'm the witness's best general. It's a win-win, see?
Yeah, we see that.
Don't so sour. You've already got everything you need. I suggest you start with a witch of your own.
Ooh, there's more, yeah.
Okay. That was a very good opening.
Guardian, the witness poses a dire threat, and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister. Amaru has promised us a method for defeating Xivu-Arath, arranged by Savathun before her death. There is a spire atop her throne world's sanctum, a place of dire experiments where she abused the light. With this knowledge, Imaru and I have devised a powerful artifact infused with hive magic. It will allow you to dispel the Witch Queen's trickery and master the spire through a ritual of our own.
What's the downside?
Yeah, let's say. Sounds good, in theory.
Even in death, the Witch Queen lays her snares for us. Be careful, Guardian.
This is a real privilege, so act like it. Savathun doesn't open her spire to just anyone.
If such a
Why are they
place
making dirty?
exists,
Why lie when the truth is so much more dangerous?
you are not the Witch Queen. And the Guardian is far more dangerous.
Yeah, Cora.
Please. Xivu-Arath is too much for you to handle. You need our help.
No, you need our help.
And
Your
you
help is
need
convenient.
ours. Imaru, tell your Lucid Hive to stand down.
Savathun's orders are for them to guard the spire. I'm sure your little glowworms can handle it.
I don't like this.
to
Resurrecting
like?
Savathun, using her magic. This is exactly what we wanted to avoid.
Yeah, but she's so
The
cool.
Witch Queen knew she could entice us with a common goal,
Yep.
removing the threat of Xivu-Arath.
She's a good politician.
And she knew the Vanguard had a little hive acolyte of their own. That's why she's opening up her spire. She thinks you've got what it takes.
Ken, they're making the spire seem like something dirty. You
Void
open her
crystals
spire
bend
to
reality through tightly channeled power. Shatter them to break their control.
Use that witch's staff to cast a little spell of your own.
Use the witch's staff in the spire.
Spire's just up ahead. Don't need more than some lightless lackey's fancy eyes to see it.
This is where the Witch Queen fell.
I mean, as long as gravity doesn't come into play, this is kind of cool.
Remember that.
We should focus.
That was a fluke. Your guardians got lucky.
Really? How many of your apostate ghosts have seen the Guardian's mercy?
Ooh, yeah, Erisborn, talking that smack.
I am not threatening you. I am telling you what the Guardian will do.
Telling truths.
So where is this spire?
You'll see. Start the ritual to bring down Savathun's illusion.
Yeah, just in a minute. Smashing some ghosts.
Guardian, channel your magic with the witch's staff.
I'm guessing that's the
You
spire.
now wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light.
Whatever you face next, we'll test that power to its limits.
You
Brilliant.
think your guardians are up to scratch?
What will we find inside the spire?
A way to take down her sister. That's all she told me. And that's all I'm telling you.
And she'll uphold her bargain? Give us the information we need.
She's a woman of her
Bring
word.
him back as soon as Evu's taken care of. Then you can ask her yourself.
Guardian,
Not a yes.
traverse the spire. We shall see what morsel of truth awaits us. There is nascent light to be found here. We must stoke it and harness its power.
Be prepared for anything.
Shoot the void crystals to bring him down.
All those little bombs.
It looks like
I
the
mean, they're
way
effective.
up is clear. Be careful.
Yeah.
Guardians, I'm sure Imaru has given you a warm welcome on my behalf.
Sure.
Savathun's dire machinations echo through these halls. She whispers from the past, anticipating each outcome.
No, she doesn't
Left you some
control the future.
recordings. It ain't that deep.
She definitely predicts it pretty well.
You've accepted my proposal. We have mutual interests after all, despite our bad blood. You might not believe me, but I love my sister. But to us Hive, love is death. No one knows more about killing her than I do.
There is something vile at the heart of this place.
Yeah. What'd you expect?
Steeped in hive magic, but bound by the light.
Yeah, how's
Savathun planned for this moment.
the light all
Knew the
involved in
guardian
this?
would end up here eventually.
Xavathun was able to wield the light
There's
a little bit. The Traveler, like, kind of chose her.
Disrupt that thing to clear the room of arc energy.
Smash.
Need to move that arc energy to those crystals.
The spire is alive with light. We have redirected the Witch Queen's spells and empowered it to some end. I am not certain.
Reassuringly vague.
I mean, it's
Hive
Erisborn.
runes manifest here. Discern their
She loves speaking
pattern
in
and
riddles.
traverse the Witch Queen's labyrinth.
Ooh.
Erisborn is here. I hope the Drifter shows up too.
That's what she
I like
wants.
seeing the video.
And she always gets exactly what she wants. So spoiled. So loved. You'll have to find another way. Only her equal could ever have a hope of overcoming the threat of my sister's war march. Only a hive.
So it rests with me.
Eris?
implications of her cold logic. If you want to remove her from the board, you'll need to test her thesis. There's power for the taking, Eris. And for that, you'll have to prove your right to exist.
Ooh, Eris.
Savathun speaks of the sword logic. No, we can't play the Hive God's games.
Don't know if you have another
And yet
choice.
We must.
I just hope you know what you're doing, Eris. It could all be a plot just to get you.
These are some of Savathun's best. Take him down.
That's just so
What can we
satisfying,
do?
smashing those evil ghosts.
We have reconfigured the inner workings of the spire and opened the path to its fetid hypogeum.
Not how I would have put it, but that's right.
There is dire magic here, and I am its conduit. We may use this power to our own ends. Eris, you can't. This is dangerous. Meet with me, Guardian. I will prepare the ritual.
She's always doing rituals for us.
Xivu Arath draws strength from our conflict. She believes her logic absolute. I will grasp it and contravene its power. There is no other way.
Can you do it?
Will you come back from this?
Yeah.
Does it matter if I do?
Yeah.
Yes.
What I am has served me and has served humanity.
Who says it's over?
Zeta, Sen,
This is what Savathun wants.
we serve our interests, not Savathun's.
She's outmaneuvered you again. You need me.
We need your silence.
It's a cool outfit.
Do not be afraid. Bear witness to my sublimation.
I don't like this.
I separate the true from the dead. I am the many-mouthed hunger. I am the knife-edged truth.
I have to watch
I
her.
devour the free. I conspire with my vengeance. I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist. Hayat! Hayat! Hayat!
Oh God.
Oh. Oh no. Damn, my Cora looks terrified.
As well she should be.
Bring me your tithes.
I read that as something else.
Guardian, though my form twists in this rune-bound circle,
Yeah.
I remain Eris Morn.
You
You
promise?
say so.
To the deep, to vengeance. The Hive have taken much from me. By
Yeah.
naming the worms, I have taken from them. And I must take from you.
Whoa, slow your roll there.
Splinter of hive worm rests in your staff. It is enough to bind us and mark you as my acolyte.
Come again?
The sword
Yeah.
logic of the hive, your conquests
Oh, okay.
strengthen me.
That makes more sense now.
You must tithe mightily if I am to become strong enough to defeat Xivu Arath.
That's gonna be awesome.
She draws
Eris Morn versus
power
Xivu
from our
Arath.
conflict. She is the blade breaker, war, drinker, conqueror, immortal. Hayat. Drown her in blood. Add your voice to the chorus of violence. Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You got a little bloodthirsty, Eris.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, you know, you gotta... oof.
I don't think like you're affecting them without them affecting you.
Guardian.
Yeah.
Eris has detected a gravitic anomaly beneath the spire. She thinks it's a ritual chamber.
We call that the Arcane Oubliette. Savathun stores all kinds of drooling goons in there. Warm bodies for her magical experiments. If you want to feed blood and guts to your discount hive god, that's the place to do it.
Sure, let's go visit the oubliette. What could go wrong?
I like the word oubliette.
I believe it's French.
Planet throws echo upward for the well of power and death. I sense the oubliette beneath you, Guardian.
I think it means a place of forgetting.
We shall harvest the root of Savathun's foul experiments as our own.
After I resurrected Savathun, she was dying to learn about her new life.
Oh, I'm sure she was.
She needed test subjects to experiment on.
Okay.
Same way you use the poor slobs in Gambit for target practice. Listen to this.
I named this chamber the Oubliette, after a human invention. A prison where the only exit is the ceiling,
Yep.
just out of reach. A
It's a
place
prison without walls.
thrown in and forgotten until the time is right. This is where I'll keep in touch with all my bygone subjects, both as a queen and researcher.
When she was describing the oubliette, it was like very dark, and then afterwards it was very matter of fact. It's like, this is where I keep this. Like, like she was, I don't know, cribs or something like that.
Do you feel it? The latent power of the Witch Queen's spellcraft.
Not as much as you.
The ritual to complete the summoning.
Kill.
Your time
Kill for me.
through me like a surge of hot blood.
Where are these subjects
Disturbingly
being summoned
specific.
from?
Yeah.
Some kind of suspended animation? Or maybe they're teleported from somewhere right into your gun sights. But what do you care? They're all just dead meat to you.
I don't know. Eris Morn like seems to be liking this a little bit too much, like feeding off of our blood that we give her, death and destruction.
Your arcane skill conjures forth horrors once cloistered, awaiting brutal.
It's interesting the parallels Amaru is drawing. Like, oh, just like you guys did this. Okay.
I feel in your tides the fear and anguish of our foes. Exalt in your retribution.
You know why the boss is so much better at magic than you? It's because she's not afraid to make the tough choices. Listen.
Okay.
I'd like to share my experiments with the Guardians one day, just as we share the light. But I know they won't approve of my methods. They love omelets, but hate breaking eggs. Maybe participating in my rituals will expand their provincial sense of morality.
Altar of flesh.
Lovely.
Your arcane skill expands with each ritual you complete. Our powers will grow in tandem until we are ready to challenge the god of war himself. In the name of retribution for the lost, Bel, Ariana, Oma, Sai, and Torrin. Die unto me, Acolyte. Lyot.
Guardian, the value of the magic you've unearthed here is undeniable. But watching you and Eris revel in violence, tithing with hive rituals, it was disturbing.
Yeah.
Like it or not, your witch is gonna need a lot more ties before she's powerful enough to challenge Xivu. So, go ahead, sport. Make a mess. Enjoy yourself. Welcome to the Hive.
No, he's enjoying this too much.
Yeah. I like the voice actor for Maru.
Yeah.
It's hard not to feel that this is my responsibility. While we
Why?
in the tower gathered intel and debated over what action to take next, Eris threw herself into a dangerous ritual of her own devising.
Her choice.
She was
It's not your fault.
audacious. And she was right. We had to accept Savathun's bargain. We must pursue the witness at any cost. But I didn't imagine we would risk Eris in the exchange. She
Yeah.
remains herself. I
Changed,
recognize
though.
Eris when I look into her eyes. She wears her new form like a suit of armor, but she speaks of whispers calling to her from the deep.
Well, that's been happening for a
And
while.
I have no
be fair.
assurance she can resist them forever. You must embrace the Hive rituals as she did. Offer your tithes so that she may gain the power she desires. And quickly. Commit yourself to her guardian. I believe it is in everyone's best interest to keep her metamorphosis as brief as possible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hive magic reveals itself in precise shapes. They follow the same lines and the same means. And yet our rituals still hold many secrets. Cards have scattered in the wake of your oblations. Our bond made manifest. I call them the Deck of Whispers. And they do whisper. Each of their ideograms appears to carry the weight of symbolism. Do not fault them for the forms they take. They are reflections of the real, and as opaque as the natures of their referent. We will interpret their configurations, divine their use. They may hold many meanings, alone and in conversation. As with all Hive magic, they ask us to separate the true from the dead. We will do so. Greetings, Guardian. I am focusing my will, preparing myself to step into the ritual space once again. When I first transformed, I thought I might become something greater. Instead, my doubts fell away and I found myself simplified, refined. Though I became Hive, I was more myself. I mentioned that to Ikora and she furrowed her brow. I told her she would have time to worry later. But now, I need tithes.
Need?
Sword logic may be Hive philosophy, but your tithes of power are real. And when I absorb them, it feels like hope. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me, from Shax's crucible to Savathun's own throne world. The
Well, she
Hive believe
moves right
that
back to
only the
herself.
strongest have earned their existence. If a queen cannot hold her power, she must be betrayed. I will not deny them their dogma. I will embody it.
I thought Eris was going to be forever changed, her appearance.
The sword logic. The impetus of the Hive. Oryx, the Taken King, brother to Savathun and Xivu Arath, sought whispers from the worms of fundament and dredged this truth from the deep. All things must prove their right to exist. The rest will die in terror. There is neither escape nor exemption. Simple, essential, beautiful to know. Oryx led his sisters down the bladed path. We have tested ourselves against horrors. We emerge changed. Through this, we become stronger. We become free. We will avail ourselves of our enemy's tools. Xivu Arath believes every death proves the sword logic. That she unveils the false shape of the Traveler's lie by her blade. But she needs her truth. She is desperate for its vindication. She wishes for a world without grief, or pity, or doubt. Not baleful, not beautiful. A childish cry. The Hive call us liars, the unfree, deniers of the all-edged truth. But I take the power the sword logic offers not out of desperation, but desire. For Crota. Oryx. Savathun. I wield their killers as a knife. The Hive know this truth as well as any logic. I am here, and they are not.
Damn.
Yeah.
My God.
So I found it so interesting what she talked about in terms of Xivu Arath and being vindicated sort of by the idea of wielding this blade and that she's got this power. And she says she's looking for a world without grief, pity, or doubt. And I was like, on the surface, right? Like, that sounds lovely. I mean, we don't associate good things with grief or pity or doubt. And yet when you dive more into that, it is our grief for things that we have lost that teaches us to appreciate what we have. Pity can prompt action. Like if you see a wounded bird outside, I say that
we have a wounded bird outside.
We have a flightless bird in our backyard right now that I've been feeding and watering and all this. But like when you see that, it like your pity for that creature that is defenseless right now prompts action. Like it prompts helping that thing, which by the way, I think the bird took off yesterday. So he is now flying.
Of course it did, because we bought a house for it. Because she's like, it's getting cold outside, so we need to buy a house for it.
It's cold outside. I was worried about the little guy. Anyway, that's side story. And then like a world without doubt. Doubt teaches us so like all of these things that she's just mentioned that on the surface sound great to get rid of. Truly do enrich our lives. You can't have like all the good without some bad. The bad teaches us to appreciate the good. You can't walk around like appreciating everything all the time. It sounds nice, but like we go mental. Think of the number of things that we take for granted all the time. And we do it because like our focus is elsewhere. It's not because we're terrible people and we don't appreciate it. It's just like we have to focus.
And doubt can lead to discovery, because if you think that something is wrong, then you like want to investigate it and you test it out and experiments. If we didn't have doubt, we'd still think the Earth was flat. And like that the sun revolved around the Earth. And yeah, like all this the scientifical.
We're doing great today.
All the scientific
I like scientific
breakthroughs that we've come across. I'm sure a lot of it has come because of doubt and seeking out knowledge. But like you said, yeah, like those things can because then there's the flip side of that we don't like, doubting ourselves and not giving the benefit of the doubt to others, and no one wants to be pitied.
No.
Well, I think some people want to be pitied, but it doesn't feel good to be pitied. To feel like a charity case. And what was the other one? Grief. Yeah.
God, yeah, that's a weighted one.
Yeah, of course you don't want to grieve. You don't want to lose the people that you love, and but like you said, it just makes you appreciate the time that you have with them and in this life. So there is those two things. Yeah, on the surface, it's great to get rid of those things, but then you're just basically getting rid of a lot of what makes life great.
Which is why I couldn't help but focus on that. Like they're talking about Xivu Arath, and she's all vindicated with the blade and like all this by like every death, and that she wants this world. And all I could think was, God, if somebody pitches you a world without those things, your knee-jerk reaction, your instinctual reaction is, God, that sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then like as you think about it more and you sit with it, it's like, actually, that would be pretty bad, all things considered. So that's why I couldn't help but like hyper focus on that towards the end of the thing. Was just, it stuck out.
Yeah, I mean, so much of what Destiny is, it's just about like the balance, right? Light and dark, and you kind of need both. And you need the physical, and you need also the emotional. And yeah, so that's what Destiny does a great job, just kind of showcasing. It's not like a brand new concept or anything like that, but it's just packaged in a very entertaining way.
Yeah, I mean, really, the battle of light and dark, that's a tale as old as time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the roots of like any religion, any mythology, any human storytelling. And essentially at its core, that's 9 times out of 10 what I bet you it's going to be about, if not 10 out of 10. But speaking of the whole balance between the light and the dark, Eris.
Yeah.
You in danger, girl. Like... I hope you know what you're doing, because you are flirting with that line.
Yeah, and Ikora says that, she's like, I mean, didn't want to sacrifice Eris, although, I mean, we haven't sacrificed her totally. It seemed like we did when she like completely changed her appearance, but then she changed back, and I was like, okay, so we haven't like completely lost her. She's still hungry for souls or whatever, and like, we need to bring her like with tithes or whatever. And that's a thing. Like, of course, she's not totally lost.
No.
But I mean, it's got to change you a little bit, right? You can't go through this. And she's doing what has to be done, which is why I'm worried, because I'm like, she's kind of accepted the fact that, hey, this is what I need to do, and it ends up destroying who I am and whatnot. Then, okay, like I've already lived a good life and done a lot of great things, but this can be like my final act or whatever. I just kind of hope it's not. I like Eris.
I mean, I think to what you said, I think that is fundamental. Like, it's impossible to believe that she won't be changed by this experience in some form. Now, we're changed by things all the time, right? Like, you fail a test in school and like you are changed by that experience because you hopefully learn from it, and you like walk away with new information. You have learned what not to do going forward, or whatever the case may be. We are changed by things on a daily basis, but this does feel fundamental to potentially changing who she is as a person, because she's going into such a deep, dark spiral. And hats off to her on like the altruistic goal for the greater good and all that. But at the same time, it feels like we arrived at the conclusion of she has to do this very quickly. And I didn't necessarily get the full discussion on like, can we have a pros and cons list? Because I feel like there are some cons here we aren't considering, and maybe we should have considered it before we went all in on like jumping into the crazy bandwagon for Savathun, just because all things considered, she's not that trustworthy. It's not like I can just take her word for it and like jump on the crazy train. There should be a little bit of a, discussion by the sane people who are not yet on the train.
I do like Savathun's ghost though. He's entertaining.
And Maru.
I don't know. He just like whenever he speaks, I get this vibe of like a Hell's Angel. Like he's like the leader of like the Hell's Angels or something like that, like a biker. And he's smoking a cigar, and it's you think come down here, gotta get your hands dirty.
Yeah, I can see that.
Think you're all high and mighty. Well, you gotta get in the muck.
It was very interesting the number of times that he was drawing parallels between the Guardians and like our team and Savathun and what she was doing, and really kind of highlighting you guys dress it up differently, but she ain't that different. Now, obviously, you can debate that. There are people who try to draw false equivalencies all the time, so like you can get into the nitty gritty of it, but it just, to me, I was like, damn, he is a smart politician in the way that he is speaking to us, because he is consistently working to make it more palatable to us. Like, oh, look, it's not that different from what you guys have done before. Oh, look, you guys aren't that different from Savathun. You guys have kind of done the same thing a couple of times. Like, obviously he's not saying it that nicely. He's saying it more like, get off your high horse. But at the same time, there is a strategic sort of like political animal behind how he communicates that is trying to win us over to the fact that we are not actually in opposition.
Everyone's a hero in their own story, right? Savathun says that, she's just doing what has to be done. And she's like, you like the omelet, but you don't want to break any of the eggs.
That was a great line.
And Savathun is willing to do that. And like, I feel it's interesting that she said that, like, as Eris had to, I think it was kind of like poking Eris towards that, like being like, okay, if you really want to win this war, then you're gonna have to do something that you probably don't want to do.
Well, here's the thing with that sort of like metaphor though, right? Like, you love the omelet, but you don't want to break the eggs. You also could not eat the omelet. So like, there is that aspect of like, when you're going to take a metaphor like that, like obviously we all sit here and we see the obvious surface message, which is entirely true, which is like, oh, all high and mighty, you'll eat the omelet, but you won't break the egg. At the same time, there is an alternative to that, which is love the omelet, choose not to eat it, choose not to sacrifice the eggs.
Order bacon instead and sausage.
Breakfast food, we're hungry.
Yeah.
But like
Pancakes.
those are like some of the things where, again, like the surface messaging here is so good and so politically intelligent. And all you have to do is like take a pause and think about it a little bit further and go like, yeah, but your only option is not to eat the omelet. There are options on the table beyond that. At the same time,
there's dare I say, a menu.
There's a
See what I did there? Do you see what I did?
Yes, I see what you did. But it's also interesting, like in terms of how it pertains to this war and stuff. Like, okay, well, you want the omelet, you don't want to break the eggs. Okay, you want to win the war, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. Okay, so what's the alternative to like not eating the omelet? That feels like not winning the war then. So like then you have to dive into that and figure out, okay, but what actually are the options on the table, and what does get us to the outcome that we want to get to without ideally losing the war, without sacrificing Eris Morn. Like where's that option? What is that breakfast food?
Really, that's what Destiny's all about.
Breakfast food menus?
Yeah. The creator sat down, they were having brunch one day, and they were just and they just came up with this idea of Destiny.
Yes, That's how it started.
Yep. If you want to jump ahead and get early ad-free access, then go ahead and check out Patreon. Links in the description of the video. You can get early access to both of our channels. If you just want early access for the game channel, hit the little join button down below. Thanks so much for watching Destiny with us, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.